and kind of, talk airsoft, drink some coffee. Well, I'm gonna drink coffee and talk about some airsoft. But as the norm, Jeff, if I could, man, just kind of, who are you? I mean, I know I just gave him your name, but who are you?
I'm from Massachusetts. Just a real quick thing. I've been in the industry for 10 years. I started playing airsoft 15-ish. I started playing paintball for 2 years, 13 to 15, and then I switched over to airsoft because it was cheaper. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think they heard you again, but they're not hearing me. I'm so sick of this. You can hear me fine.
Yeah, I hear you good.
I don't know why it's doing that, because mine's picking up. And I was really thinking I fixed it this time. I really did. I'm gonna take it off and put it back on. Okay, maybe this time that they can hear me. You can still hear me, can't you? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me now. Okay, it says you can hear me now. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It may be a delay or something. Because it's showing on mine, just mine. I promise you, I'm looking into getting that thing fixed. And I hate it because I always bring it out. Maybe I should wait. I should just test it. Maybe that could be a new routine. Like, hey, can you hear me? If so, then we'll talk. Bring up a whole new thing. Nonetheless, man, while I was putting stuff in here, well, I don't want to jump the gun that much. While I was putting your stuff in the description, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, stuff like that, I have to definitely congratulate you. I've seen that you have like 6.9 thousand on YouTube.
Yeah, man. So I put up I don't know if you've seen it. I put up a video. It was like the best mag dump of the year. And I was at the field and I was like, yo, imagine if I just took my mag and just like opened it up and sprayed somebody. I was like with my EMP1, so I was like 250 rounds. I was like, wouldn't that be fucking hilarious? And they're like, yeah. So it took me all day. I was there from like 11 in the morning, and then like the last two games, I just went up to the dude and just like, and I was like, he was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then like I posted the video up, and it took like a month, and then it just took off, and just like a whole bunch of views and people subscribing, and I was like, holy crap! I appreciate all the people that gave me that much following. I was just surprised that happened. Like, and my videos got a little bit more views, and that's when I started being like, yeah, I think shorts is kind of the best way to kind of interact with people. So that's how I went with it.
Yeah, shorts is, it's been new. I sit back and watch for it for a little bit. I put some in there randomly, and I think it's really good when it comes to YouTube. That new little format. Now I know, I watch a little things and read some stuff on the backdraw about YouTube. And that YouTube really didn't kind of know what to do with them at first, and now you're seeing them in the main feeds and stuff like this. And people seem to thrive off things like TikTok, Instagram, short things.
Yep.
I myself have a low attention span. It's hard to keep attention for too long of time when we're so used to just scrolling our thumb. So those little clips really do amazing things, and that's really cool, man. Just to throw a video out there and boom, you just see it kind of explode. It's a really good way to
yeah, it was crazy. It was just crazy. Like the same thing. I can't like some YouTubers will put up like a 10-minute, 15-minute video. It's like, god damn, bro. Like you gotta get to the good shit. And then when Reels came out, I was like, oh, this is like TikTok. Yeah. And then like people were making really good videos, and it was like only like 10, 15, 20-second videos, and I was like, oh, like I got like I take I mean you know the thing too. You go to a field the whole day and you videotape, and you probably only got like 2 minutes of actual tape that you can use. And it's like, reels are perfect for that. Because, to make a real good video, you at least need like 5 to 8 minutes to be like a nice solid video.
Mm-hmm.
But like sometimes you go to the field and you don't get a whole video, and that's another problem. People, I've had to tell people, it's like, bro, only because I recorded the whole day doesn't mean I got perfect video all day. You know what I mean? Like, but reels are really nice to start to get into. So if anybody out there thinking about doing YouTube, I think reels are a nice, quick way to kind of get your way into YouTube, and it'll put a little bit more light on you. And then hashtags are the biggest thing.
Yeah.
The more hashtags you put, the better.
Yeah, tags are. That's something I noticed about 7, 8 months ago and stuff. Really just started tinkering with tags and things like that. And you know, like your 3 little tags right before your description, you know, put that in there, and it helps YouTube's algorithm to kind of point to like, who do I need to show this kind of to. It's really cool. Predator, I seen what your comment was. I'm going to look into that, what that was. It was showing good on my side, but he said that it was when the camera switched, the audio became good. But I appreciate you being here, Freeland, as always. Pill, appreciate seeing you here. Competitive Speedsoft League, what is up, man? Glad to see you in here as well. Speedsoft Australia, it's always great to have you. Braden, love you, boo. I'm glad to see you back in here as always. If I missed your name, I'm sorry, because they're coming in more and more. The questions we have. Is the beard... Oh, man. Competitive Speedsoft League asks the question we all have. So I guess it's the elephant in the room. Is the beard real?
Yeah, man. So it's real. It's attached on there. You know, it's all real. It's all flustered. It's real. It ain't fake.
It's 100% authentic.
Authentic.
I really would.
Yeah, and it's jeans. Don't ask if, you know, I put it's jeans. It's just, that's how you get the perfect beard. Just jeans.
Yeah, I got a Joe Dirt one. Yeah, man. So the few of the videos I did see, I was going to ask the question, but for the one, well, I'm going to ask the question, but for those that haven't seen yet, and for y'all that are in here, make sure you hit the description, go in there, find his YouTube channel, his Instagram, obviously smash the like button, subscribe buttons, all that stuff, because he was just telling you about the shorts he has on there, and go give that little double click on Instagram. What's up, Tristan? But I did see that you had some outdoor play, so that kind of carries me into my next question. Do you like a lot of Milsim stuff? Are you falling into any Speedsoft stuff? Do you play any SpeedQB tournaments? Where's your vibe in Airsoft? Because Airsoft is Airsoft.
Yeah, so this is where it kind of intertwines. So I started out playing outdoor at a local paintball field, and I was kind of quick with it, you know, running up on people, and then I heard about Speedsoft, and I was like, what the hell is Speedsoft? And they're like, oh, it's like paintball. And then I heard that, like, when I first heard about it, they're like, oh, fuck, Speedsoft's terrible, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, man, you know, is that bad? And then I looked into it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I started going indoors a little bit more, and I just did in EA Fest in the summertime, they did, like, their SYG and Speed QB came out, and they did a little of Speedsoft. That was like my first time this year actually going to a field and actually playing on a Speedsoft course. I originally from outdoor play though. I would say I'm more Speedsoft. I'm kind of turning towards that way, but I do play outdoor. I like playing outdoor more. I like playing outdoor and indoor, but I prefer indoor. Yeah. So I started outdoor, came indoor, and then that's how I stand right now. But hello? You hear me, Steve?
Yeah, I'm cautious with this thing now. I don't want to move it. I don't get to play indoors enough. We don't have an indoor facility here. The closest one that I get to play at is Nashville. It's about a 2-hour drive from me. We love that place. We'll be down there Saturday. Outdoor is most of the time where, especially for my team, that's where our roots grew, was at ACS. We started there outdoor. kind of formulated as a team. And I think a lot of us we're getting spoiled now. We're really enjoying going inside. A lot of us have shifted more over to SpeedQB players, SpeedSoft players, how you want to formulate like that. And I started out kind of the same way. I already, before I ever came out to the airsoft field, I bought a dye mask. So I was already a fraction in there. But I was already into camo and stuff like that because that's all I really knew at first. And come outdoors, started playing. Some of the first videos I started watching, obviously a lot of people get caught on them too, was SYG. I started watching a lot of those indoor videos and thought it was the coolest shit ever, watching you shoot little green, glow-in-the-dark BBs.
Yep.
And it kind of formed over after that once we learned about Nashville and whatnot. I like it, but I feel like is even too much stronger word. I'll deal with playing outside now. Sometimes the elements kind of bother me. Like, it's cold. Like we played and it was, 30 degrees, 35 degrees Saturday. So sometimes the cold elements or the heat and stuff like that, or it's too windy or it's just too muddy. And I don't know, maybe we're getting spoiled. Maybe we really are, but
yeah.
Some things. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. No. Sorry about that.
Well, I was gonna say some things do intrigue me. Some Milsim events do intrigue me to want to get into. Some of them don't though, because I don't want to be outside all day long. Get shot, bleed out. Walk back. Just doing not a lot of gunfights. Like there's some that's really intriguing to me, but some that's not. But you said you tend to kind of fit in that SpeedSoft area right off the go. You'd like to run up on people and stuff like that, kind of be fast, do things like that, and that's what me and my team are the same way. It's kind of how we kind of fit more into CQB, I guess, like at SpeedSoft, SpeedQB kind of games, because I like the really quick, repetitive stuff. I don't want to walk half a mile back to spawn. I want it to be right there and then come back. Like I ain't in all that running like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So like, same thing. So, I'm in New England, so I'm a little bit higher than you. So it gets really cold out here. I think in November, that's when I was like, I think I'm done playing outdoor. I don't mind the muddiness. I don't mind the wind. I don't mind the rain. I don't mind that. I actually like that a little bit. But once it starts getting to the coldness and to it being cold and windy, that's where I kind of stopped. But I would like to get into Milsim, but the thing, I don't like dressing up like military people. That doesn't put a good taste in my mouth. I don't know, that's just me, but I would like to do a Milsim one day, hopefully. We'll see.
I wonder who this question was addressed to. He said, competitive SpeedSoft League said, are you going to be at EA on the 26th?
Yeah, so I think that was for me. So, CSL, I did message you, and I got some information from you. I am hoping to go to EA. I think it's in May, the end of May. That's when their qualifiers are. So I will be there. Right now we're having trouble trying to get players, and I want to talk to you about that too, Steve. Attracting players. Now, I remember in the past you said that it was like all your boys and you made your team, and then that's how you went through. Did you have a problem with players showing up, or was it like everybody was down and they're like, yeah, 100%, I'm with it? How did you guys go about that?
Our team, we was already out there just kind of playing and whatnot. We was the same ones always show up and kind of team up with each other. Before that, we always, more the ones that were just shooting at each other. And then when we shifted, it's no secret. We really shifted away from that. And, even our A team and our B team, we got a couple guys that are still more Milsim kind of base. But our A team and B team is who most are known. Shifted over to the SpeedQB world, indoor kind of thing. We still play outdoor, but we shifted. But when it comes to practice or showing up and stuff like that, most of them, no problem. Everyone shows up as long as they physically can. Everyone's been there. Everyone's dedicated on both teams to going. I think there's a few people that kind of want to run with us and get dedicated as well. But I mean, I don't know. We're kind of at a point where we're kind of like, we're not trying to pull on other players right now because I mean, there's 14 of us, I think there is in total.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, out of the B team, A team, and there's a few that don't. You usually don't see them on A team, B team. They're more low key. They play kind of more outdoor, Milsim kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we don't like constantly try to keep growing the team like that and have like 100 PVZ players. No, I mean we try to keep it small. But the dedication of every one of our players it's there. They're all dedicated. They're all good players. They're all good guys. If that
that's nice because it's hard for me and my friend. We're trying to. There's 3 of us right now that like we're 100%, and it's just hard finding that last 2 to make at least one team. And what we're trying to do is in May, what CSL was talking about the league that's going to be at EA. We're hoping that we can get another 2 like set guys, so we can actually start to play together and kind of get that what's that called? Damn. Like not communication, but like that bond with each other.
Yeah.
So like exactly like, oh, I know what this dude's doing. I know what this is gonna do, and kind of get that bond together. And that's what we're trying. We just need 2 more players. So if anybody's around my area and you need a team, then hit me up. Hit me up.
Yeah, chemistry within players is important.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, we're just trying to. We invited people and they haven't come out or communicated with us, which is fine. I mean, if they're listening to this, then they're listening to this. They already know. But right now, we're trying to find dependent people, and that's the hardest thing that I'm kind of looking at, and it just sucks because I wanna get into competitively, but it's hard to find the right players. It's just hard. That's one thing that I am running into that's hard. But yeah.
I had a when we had our podcast with Demi last week on Saturday. I don't know if you happen to catch that one.
No, I hadn't.
He got a good perspective of stuff. Now, obviously, they have a pro league over there at EU, so it's a little, it's very competitive on that level. And it was hard to think about it like that because, like he was just talking about with chemistry and stuff like that. Here, I'll keep it on me. So, like our team, we're all homies, even players with each other, but we're also homies with each other. And Demi was talking about, it's, when it comes to the competitive world like that, sometimes you have to cut a player to put another player in, and to make it a large, for a goal there. I mean, you're playing championships and things like that and taking it to the next level. And that really got me thinking on some stuff. Not that any of my teammates are going anywhere. Every one of them earned their spot. They all deserve their spot.
Yep.
But it got me thinking, though, some people are in it for just the hobby. Some people just want to be weekend warriors. Some people want to take it to the extreme. Some people say they want to take it to the extreme until it actually, time to, rubber hit the road. And I guess that's kind of a hit or miss or sometimes. I'm thankful. I'm extremely thankful that the guys that I've been able to run with, my team, are all committed in that right now. Some of them are still young, so I kind of wonder where they're going to wander in a few years, if they stick with it.
Yeah.
Because I was, young too at one point. I shifted through phases and stuff.
Yep.
So
that's just the thing. It's like just the not loyalty, but I just want that consistency. And it's, I mean, like you were saying, you and your boys hang out after. Like me and my boy Kenny, I think you've talked to him, Infamous Venom. Me and him, we talk all day. Like we're literally we'll have a group. We'll be talking on Instagram and we'll be talking in our text messages, and it's 2 complete different conversations. It's like it's just once I find those people, like more people like that, and my other boy Ty too. Like, I just need 2 more players, and once we get that, then I think we're gonna be solid. Because at the level that we're at right now, I think we're good. Just if we get those 2 more players, I think we'll be floating by pretty good. So, but yeah, competitively, it's a different feeling, and I've gotten a taste for it twice for the competitive side, and it's getting to the point where it's like open play is kind of getting played out. Like, it's like I want to go to play, but at the same time, it's like I just want that competition feeling. Even at like the past competition I was in, we went 0-2, but I'd rather go 0-2 for the rest of the year and have that kind of competition play. That's just me. I mean, I would like to win, but
I think I lost you. I don't know if I can hear you, if it's just the camera or if it's just me. But while he's adjusting that, Speedo Australia, yeah, I agree with what your comment is. It's a perspective shift from being a game to being a legitimate sport. It's definitely that. And touches back to what I was saying just a second ago. Some people are just weekend warriors. Some want to take it to the next level.
Can you hear me, Steve?
I didn't even, yeah, I can hear you. Spiffy, I didn't say no names. You did. You point yourself out. Spiffy said, Steve, I may be young but just because you're 900 doesn't mean that you get to pick on him, Braden, E, and TJ. Yeah, my teammates are from 21 to 15. I'm the oldest on A team.
Oh wow!
Over 10 years. So 14 years on the highest one.
Yeah, so you're the oldest one.
Yeah, Esmond's 21. I think Braden's 20. I think Spiffy's 20. TJ, I believe, is 15. Tristan, he's 25. So Tristan would be right behind me. But I still got him by like 9 years. But I still run with them. They know I still run and keep up with them.
As long as you can keep up.
I don't forget Tristan. I was thinking of ages. Yeah, I do my best to keep up with a lot of stuff, man. Stopped smoking, oh my gosh, what seems like a year ago now, a few months ago, and it made such a difference. I enjoy the sport so much, I had to give up smoking. I couldn't run. Old dudes do rock. Got a little wisdom to pass down is what it is. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up in some of these comments with some of these guys.
Yeah.
Pops, yeah, our oldest player is 45, which is Pops. He is,
wow.
Yeah, he's the dad of Spiffy and Builder, also known as Melon, or we call him Puddin'. He won't put it on his jersey, though.
Hey, man, I've seen those older guys on YouTube, and they be moving.
Yeah.
Age don't matter.
Yeah, and Pops, man, he's a tank. Like, he is a tank, but that man can get around. He's a big guy. 45 ain't old, though.
So I wanted to bring this up. So when I was at the last quote unquote tournament that I was at, there's a ref that tried to call me out, but how I was at the X like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was right here, and the ref was over here. Now the guy pokes over, shoots over me, like I'm down here. He shoots over me. The other ref on the other side that can't see me, called me out. And then I came up, and then I shot him, and then we traded. But that ref on the other side, he's like, bro, you were out before you shot him. I was like, why are you calling the hit when you can't even see me visually get shot? He's like, you're out. So I was just want to see, like, what would your opinion be on that? Because I was like, why are you calling a hit that you can't even see? All you seen was the dude shoot, but you didn't see the contact.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I think first and foremost, I think it's the best way to go about it is that refs always have that last word, no matter what. That's a good thing. But I don't think a ref should make a call when something he can't 100% confirm. Some things look. I mean, there's been people that's been pulled off ricochets. Things just look like it hit them, and you get yanked off the field. In my opinion, on that one, if the ref could not see the contact of the BB to the hit, he should have never pulled you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like when I got off the field, another ref was like, "Yo, you didn't get hit." I was like, "Yeah, but when I popped up again," he was like, "Yeah, you didn't. You traded on that." But he was like, "When he popped up the first time and shot over you, you weren't hit." I was like, "Oh, well, the other ref said that I was hit." He was like, "Nah, you weren't hit, man." So I was like, at that point, refs should be more communicative at that point. You know what I mean?
And what sucks too, it's unfortunate because once a ref pulls you, there's like you can't like jump back in the game kind of thing. You know, it's just kind of like it's just over. Kind of like ricochets and stuff. If somebody calls a ricochet and you've already walked off, and you're like, oh, that had to have been a ricochet. Well, you can't go back out on the field now. You've done, you done called it. You done walked off.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's ricochets it's one thing because some ricochets feel like actual hits. So it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear.
No, you're all right, bro. You're okay. Yeah, the last one we was at, Shot Zone, the walls were pretty tough. And some of them things really hurt humming off them. You could tell it was a ricochet. Somebody shooting across from one Dorito to the other over there. But, it'd catch that wall and, ooh, some of them would sting. But you would know it because you're, like, tucked behind. Like, nobody can get you, but you catch them. Like, gosh. Nashville is pretty good like that, too. If you're playing backline, you have maybe about 12 to 15 foot between the structures and the wall from breakout at the gate. And some of them bouncing off that wall right there. You can hear them constantly. But yeah, them ricochets can really catch you. I don't know if we have clinics. So.
There's another thing that happened too was there was an incident where an opponent thought that he shot another opponent, and like he literally stopped the whole game in the middle of the game. And I was like, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing, man? Get off the field!" Like you're literally stopping the whole game because you think you shot him. Like even if he shot him, whatever. I was like, "Oh, you don't do that. You just walk off the field and you talk about it afterwards. You don't halt the whole game and then try to intervene with the game like that." I was like, that's kind of messed up. You let the game play out, and then you go back on it.
Wonder what Spippy's talking about. It said we need official ref handbook or like standardization of some sort. Yeah, I agree. Spippy said I hear so many ref horror stories.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the ref has the final word, but some things it's like, man, that's kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little sus.
And then, I try not to argue with refs because once you get on the ref's bad side, then that's not even good for you. So
yeah,
I usually just try to be like, okay, and that's it. I'll just carry it on to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, we've come across some refs that are obviously biased. I mean, it's hard not to find that a lot of places. I know a lot of places hold up. They don't have as many refs as needed and things like that. It's like they just take what they can get, kind of thing. I get it.
Well, that's the other thing that sucks about Airsoft too is that like the lack of just refs in general. It doesn't matter like everywhere. In Airsoft, it's like the lack of refs really hurt the game as well.
Yeah. And
that's what sucks about it.
Yeah, because, I mean, we all know it's 100% honor-based. So let the integrity of, individual kind of go from there. People that don't feel things, I mean, especially SpeedQB games that we play, plenty of times I've shot people on breakout, come right off the gate, and I can see it connect. But sometimes, like a chest rig, like I got one myself, if you got mags on the front and stuff, you hit it, there's no way he felt that. And in the movement of it, I'm not mad at all that I hit him there. Like, he didn't know. Yep. So, if a ref happens to see it, then, go off the unintentional no call, because it wasn't intentional. But or just somebody darting across from one structure to the next. You catch them or something. Catch a dump pouch, backpack. I mean, most of the time, you should listen for that sort of thing. If you hear it, it's a distinct sound hitting your backpack if you're usually wearing one. It's a very distinct kind of low-tone thump.
Yeah, it's like a thump, like boom, boom.
Yeah, and you can really tell that. But some people get something else we was talking about last week, tunnel vision, so focused in, you don't really catch that sometimes. But I got no hard, animosity or hard feelings towards people that just don't feel it sometimes. Sometimes you just got to catch them in the flesh, catch a love handle, an arm, fingers, whatever it takes.
Because I mean, in the beginning, when I started, in the beginning of this year, I was like, man, I shot him. And then after a while, I started to understand, he probably didn't feel that. And then, it's like, all right, you got to put a little bit more in him, or it's like, screw it, I'll just meet him on the other side, and we'll see what happens. But I've dropped that thing of, I see players do it, too. It's like, they shoot once, and it's like, oh, where did you hit him? Oh, I hit him in the chest ring. It's like, if the dude, like you said, if he has tunnel vision or something like that, you really think he's going to pay attention to that? You know what I mean?
I feel that. But, and something Predator, and even addressing that Predator, hey man, I'm never bashing on a point of too far with a ref. I think refs are just really important. And I think that's something that we could work on, definitely, with refs. Some have seen, some that just don't really care, I think refs are just kind of really important aspect to the game. Or at least in that game, if it's outdoor stuff, we got ACS, where we usually play outdoors. Now we have, we have been having the last few weeks, 2-3 refs out there. They're watching around and stuff, but some things you can't see. Again, it comes down to that honor system kind of thing.
Yep. But yeah, refs, they have a hard job, a big field, and that's the other thing that we were saying, it's so understaffed to the point where it's like it's a giant field like this, and then there's only 2 refs like that, and then people are expecting them to look at the whole field. It's like, yeah, they can walk around, but it's hard to see it. That's why at my local field, he was like, oh, if you have a problem with somebody, just tell me and I'll watch them. He was like, if I see them doing it, then I'll take action. He was like, but I can't say yes, he wasn't calling his hits without actually seeing it, because it's true. It happens to everybody. Everybody says that everybody doesn't call hits, but it's that's part of the sport. Some people feel it. Some people, take the bullet and keeps playing, but it's part of the sport.
So actually, I guess I could ask this. I think it was brought up on Saturday. We was kind of talking about what are your thoughts if a ref was wearing a GoPro? Maybe not that the players can't wear GoPros, but refs can wear GoPros. What would be your thought on that?
I don't think it's a bad idea. It's the more cameras on the my opinion, the more cameras on the field is better for everybody. But I think my friend Kenny was telling me that somebody on Saturday said that it's not a good idea. I can't really see how it could be a bad idea. I mean, like I said, more cameras on the field is more footage that you can get. So
yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
I think the thing with I don't think we should be able to stop stop the whole tournament and kind of do a video review or something to make sure they hit it and they didn't call it and kind of get from there. But I think it's
that'll take way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
Yeah.
So it was, I kind of thought on that when we was talking about it. If it's tournament wise, it's something serious, I have no problem not running a GoPro. None. Little scrimmage games and stuff like that. I'm all about it because we was talking about running GoPros is something you can review, your own footage or something you didn't see, a mistake you made or something, trying to correct it and, adjust accordingly. Plus, most people that run GoPros are just looking for, making content, that kind of things,
Yeah. I can see how, the best way, if you want to eliminate the camera, player cameras and ref cameras, I think the best way to do it is just, you've watched the KWA Fight Night?
Mm-hmm.
like their cameras, I think that's the best because you can see where they're shooting. Like that's like picture quality cameras. You can't have that everywhere. But I think if you're running a tournament, I think that would be great to have like a broadcast like Shot Zone had, maybe a little bit cleaner, so you can actually see where the BBs are going and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm always for cameras, man. More cameras, the better. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, the good streaming stuff. It seems like with Shot Zone, the streams alone were just a success. A lot of people was able to watch from around the world and keep up. I hope to see that a lot more in other facilities, especially stuff that we get to review. I know when we first started, and we still do, if we're going to play other teams and we know it or anything like that, we usually don't. But other teams that like in an area that we play, if they have a YouTube channel, we're giving them watch time because we will check them out. We will watch how they play, things they do, kind of study your enemy there a little bit.
Yeah, because when you got done with the Shot Zone, and I think I watched that Monday podcast, and you guys were talking about it. I was like, they had that thing streaming, and when you said it was on YouTube, I watched it, and I'm like, holy crap, man! Like just watching how people like just their moves and everything, that helped me so much. Just watching mistakes and how people took advantages of things, and just how they broadcast. Like you don't see that, and that was live from what you said, right?
Yep, it was all live.
That's great. That's great. I like that. But I thought it was crazy in the video. I was watching it, and some dude was like, he was trying to jump over a burrito, and like he like face planted.
That was
his mask fell off.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh damn, his mask. And then I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, that's what the clip was for in my 8K army.
Yeah, and that was one of the guys off PKZ that play at the field that we play at.
Oh, that was one of those guys?
Yeah, it was somebody we knew. He just didn't pick him feet up enough.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, his I mean, it was at least he covered his face he covered it quick. Like, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaks of Australia said KWA has about $20,000 in cameras.
Oh, that's great. Wait, KWA. I believe it, because, I mean, that picture quality was, like, perfect.
Yeah,
like, you could see the BBs just perfect. Great.
Yeah, definitely more exposure is always great for the sport. I agree. I mean, because I'd like to see that at some point, especially if we can push this, which a good way to kind of start here in a second with the next question. Pushing into that where we might be able to watch. You can watch NXL games. There's all kinds of videos of them. But just get it more common, just streaming. I get it though. Cameras are expensive. That is no joke. But it'd definitely be nice to kind of grow the culture of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
The
video was great.
Speaks of Australia said no, that's one camera, $20,000 camera. I believe that.
Holy crap!
Yeah, like a red camera. The reds are really expensive. They're really great cameras.
Jeez. I flipped out about spending like $250 on my GoPro.
Yeah, I got a 9, and it cost me a pretty little penny for it. I didn't like it.
Yep.
But
I got the 9 too. It's a great camera.
I love it. It does great for what I got going on. Not only just games, but vlogs or stuff where I'm sitting at my desk or something like I'm doing right now. It's good to have.
So I got a question. Are you using your GoPro right now, or are you using your camera from your computer?
I'm using my GoPro.
Shit, no wonder. But I was like, man, how is this guy getting like picture quality? And I have crappy.
I have a
crappy camera.
Mine's at. I could be wrong, but I think it's running at 1080 at the moment. I think it does do 5K. It is the 9, so I mean you have that too. So Discord just doesn't really like my camera. It usually has issues and never wants to load it and stuff like that. So thankfully, this being the 9 has the option of GoPro Connect, to the computer, which is a lovely thing. Which was one of the reasons I got the 9 when I was doing my homework on it before I switched from 7 to 9. I knew it did the GoPro Connect, and I was like trying to do record. I'd record on my 7 and have to, if I was doing something, I was recording my screen. I had to, record with this and record my screen and then go in there and sync all of it. And now I can just put myself in the corner and just record, and I don't have to worry about all that. It made my, little things a little easier. But yeah. So I guess that would take me. I ask about everybody this question, and we can use the whole of each category. And no matter how it doesn't matter how much we try not to. You can't help but to kind of have a category for Milsim, and I'll keep it Speedsoft to be a broad brush. Where do you see at least Speedsoft in 5 years?
5 years, Speedsoft. I hope they can get to the point of paintball. I mean, I know that there's already innovation happening with just the guns itself. I hope there's more leagues, like there's the NHL, AHL, and just categories of leagues. I hope that comes down to it. There's more of that happening. We're here in the east, more northeast. They are building like fields for Speed QB, so that's a start. I'm thinking in like the next 3 years we'll get like a definite like actual league. But yeah, just more leagues.
Leagues is definitely something that we want to see a whole lot of spread of. What you said, and it always makes me think too on technology wise when I'm like 5 years. Like I think of where I'd like to see it. I anticipate it growing. I don't think it's going to fall off. I don't think it's going to come like a dead sport or anything like that. I think it's going to keep growing, keep expanding. But not only that, but also just the technology, how it's changed. Years ago I didn't play, but I remember like you go to Walmart and you found one of them clear Springer pistols. And just like to think of what it was then to the guns that we have now that look just I mean.
Like this.
Yeah, I mean, and thankfully for Monk, we've switched, to, I mean, it looks so much like paintball. Or excuse me,
that's pretty much what it's turning into at this point. It's just turning. And I talked to the local paintball owner here, and he was like, I mean, yours is pretty much turning into paintball. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty much. It's at that point where it is, because the Air Customs came out with that Airsoft gun, and it literally looks like a paintball gun. So, and the next 5 years, I'm hoping that more leagues, and it's just gonna look cleaner now, and more people. Like, I won't be surprised if Dye comes out with a marker and planning the Eclipse, because it looks exactly the same, exactly the same. So, yeah. I can see more companies being more, and the price range I can see coming down a bit more. Right now, I think you buy a Monk for like $1,500, the lowest $1,300, and I can see like 3 years it being like you can find one exactly how it looks, probably like $800, $700.
I see you in the comments, Bobs. Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, it's definitely gonna grow. I'm wondering where engines and stuff like that'll be out. Like we got our, I think probably your top of the line. Somebody can argue me, throw a rock at me, but I think probably the best engine out there right now. I don't even own one. I've never tinkered with one. Would probably be the Fusion. I think it's got the big toe status. It is the alpha at the moment, but it doesn't seem like it's a really big one that a lot of people want. I think the biggest selling one is probably the F2, followed by the Jack. Then you get.
So everybody, like whenever anybody goes into HPA, I mean the first thing you hear is get a F2, get a F2. Like that's the only thing you hear. And then people will be like, well, if you don't want to spend the money and you don't want the quality, then get a Jack. But it's like the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a little bit extra tunability on the F2, and it's I mean, that's my next one I'm gonna get is the F2. I've always been a prominent like, hey, get a jack, plug it in, it works. They hold it down, they held their name. The F2 is something that I'm gonna put in next on a, well, I don't have it yet, but a gun I'm gonna work on. So
yeah, so the F, so like, what was I gonna say? The F2, I've put in one for my boy Kenny, and I've noticed that I don't know if it was for if you had this problem with the Jack too, but that FCU is so sensitive.
They are
like,
sensitive.
So sensitive. Like, you do one adjustment, it's a completely different gun. Like, I run a Wolverine Inferno 2, and like, it was more of a, I put the engine in and it was all ready to go. Like, I didn't have to touch anything. But with the F2, like, we were tinkering it. It wasn't like problems. And then we gave it to our boy that knew more about F2s, and like, he was like, "Oh, it was just the FCU. It wasn't programmed right." But it's like, holy crap! Like that F2, I would say it has a big name just because all the small tweaks that you can do to it.
Mm-hmm. Freeland said, I see a lot of companies complaining that it's its own sport, and if you want to play paintball, airsoft. Why does it matter? If the sport goes that route, what is it?
When people say that, I hate
what
that.
People want. I like when we come to a speed QB game or a speedball game, we're a lot at some things are different, obviously rule settings and points and things like that, but the commonalities to it, from breakout to eliminating players to reaching the other gate, is easily, it shadows each other. But airsoft is airsoft, paintball is paintball. They both, but I definitely agree that you would have more accuracy in airsoft opposed to paintball.
So like, the thing about paintball is that every like let's say this is a die, and if, let's say you have a Planet Eclipse, they're literally the same gun. The insides are literally the same. All you're doing is paying for a different name and a different color, because they've made it in paintball where they wanted it's like what we're going through right now in airsoft, where one guy has a gun, two people have two different guns, and let's say you have the more powerful gun than me, then you can outplay me just with your gun. In paintball, they made it to the point where it's like, no, we're gonna make all these guns the same, so it just comes down to skill. Mm-hmm. And that's how that came apart. Airsoft will get to that point eventually.
Yeah, I think EU's definitely got that already. Some stuff we was discussing is, every one of them is required to have the Gorilla FCU fraternity lock, same BB weight. It's I think it's
the way to do it.
I think it's the perfect way to do it, because if we allow ramping, binary, all that stuff, it can get really crazy, opposed to the guy that just comes out there with just, he just put his fresh 13-1s in his the AEG, and he's trying to keep up with somebody running a Gorilla with a ramping.
Yep. That's why, that's the thing that sucks, man. So I have an Inferno. Now, I wanted an Inferno because I was like, no one's running it. I don't see it, so I'm going to get it. Uh-oh. And I regret it because I can't get Gorilla. I can't find one. I called Monk, and Monk was like, hey, man, you're just going to have to wait for them to come in. I'm like, no problem. It's like, they're in, like, they don't get them in. And they have like 40 of them for Polar Star, and that's the thing that sucks. Like, let's say if a league did come up, it's like couldn't play just because I didn't have that. If I wanted to use that gun. But that's the other thing I wanted to tell you about, like, the supply. Everything's running at, like, you look for a part and you can't find it, and then when you ask, how long is it going to take, it's like, well, I don't know, like, whenever it comes in. And that's the thing that sucks about building guns too.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is the demand. A lot of people are definitely wanting these sorts of things. And the more people get these new parts, and then they show people, and you find them on media, social platforms. It's just kind of like,
That's true.
more people chase it. So I think the demand is definitely growing. The supply I think it'll catch up eventually. I think it is risky on some things. I could say that if you make a new rail design and it does great for a month and then it just falls off, how many did I actually want to make? How many, production wise, kind of thing. But it does suck. It is unfortunate when you think of a part, you come across and you can't find it. You're just like, wow, man, like it's not in.
I wanted to ask you, so what do you think about using binary and ramp in a competitive, in a tournament setting? Do you think binary kind of takes the disadvantages away? Takes away from the skill aspect? I get your opinion on that.
I don't think binary or ramping should be used in a speed QB tournament. I think semi only. I think speed triggers are definitely an asset. I got my mind chasing a little bit on some discussion from a few days ago on some tactics, but I'm on the fence on some of the things with the new rules with the mag capacity now, or excuse me, the round capacity. The feathering is a new thing that popped up. No feathering kind of thing. I don't binary ramping. I think it's a one notch over the level. It could be a tactic, but I think it's a little one notch.
I think it's too much.
Yeah, I think it's too much for that field. Yeah. Outdoors, great. I think any outdoor field should allow binary or ramping, because if one guy can hit his murder trigger, hit it in full auto with. Our field limit is 30 rounds a second on full auto, but if a field has got 40, 40 rounds in a second is a fast gun, and
yeah, because it's a thing of like the binary is just like the tournament that I was just at, they allowed binary, which that's the rule, so that's okay. But it came to the point where it's like these dudes are using binary against somebody that can only do one pull, one BB. It's like, is that really that's not skill at that. That's how I look at it. It's not skill at that point. It's just your gun doing the work for you. That's not skill.
It could.
You could just pepper down and then just wait until you pop out or anything like that. But I'm not. I'm a fan of binary, just not in a competitive standpoint or like in a tournament.
Speech All Australia said, you see ramping as an advantage to a player, but you can actually use it to limit the RPS. Yeah, okay, yeah, so like paintball, I know they can only ramp up to a certain, I don't know what it is because I don't play paintball, but I know it's actually dropped. Yeah, so CSL said in paintball they set ramping to 10 balls per second. So
yeah, so there's a limit, yeah.
If you're on something like that, yeah, I think that's definitely more feasible. If you put a limit to that, I don't see it coming into a Speed QB at the moment. I don't think it will. I don't think ramping is going to be allowed at all.
Yeah, I think more of binary. I just wanted to get, because binary is kind of it's pretty much like full auto if you think about it.
I know some. One of my teammates can shoot faster binary than his full auto. He's just nuts with it. It's ridiculous. So Speed South Australia, that's with your comment there. So do you think it should be allowed in Speed QB or anything like that? The ramping, if we took it down to say reflect paintball with 10 balls a second.
So those gorillas have locks on them, do they? I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
they do, right?
Yeah, timeout tournament lock.
That's the other problem too. Then you're limiting. Not everybody runs a gorilla, so then that kind of comes into the play where it's like, well, that's what you do if you go into a tournament. Then you're gonna have to go by the rules, just like a tracer. You need a tracer to play. I don't know. At Shot Zone, was it required to have a tracer?
I don't think it was. I don't remember if it was required. I want to say everybody had them. I don't remember. I want to say there's a good chance of it that it was, but don't quote me on it for sure. Speed Tall Australia said, I see the possible benefits.
It's like ramping. I can see it because, like, I mean, you shoot, and then you don't have to pull your finger as much to get as much BBs because it's like pop, 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 and then like you can keep your same fingers, like you're just tapping it the same, but it'll keep shooting out more. That's what I believe.
People can throw a lot of BBs downrange on semi. Yeah, I agree. People can throw a shit ton of BBs downrange just on semi alone. And not to mention that I think a lot of it with you when we pulled the and I'm guilty of it. When feathering was no longer allowed, where we play, the first thing I did was tune my trigger even more. So it's just a very sensitive click.
Yeah.
And if you do it just right, you could damn near double
So
feed.
mine, like, it's like I can make it a little bit better, but that's as much as it goes. So it's not. I don't have a long trigger. But from what I do believe, some fields do require safeties. Like, I don't have a safety on my gun, so that gun won't be allowed. But when you have safeties in there, it kind of brings the trigger pull farther away.
Yeah, safety. I don't have a safety in mine. I haven't the entire time. Our Predator did confirm tracers were required at shot zones. See, I don't remember seeing one without it, and I didn't want to say for sure and make a liar out of me. So I was like, I remember everyone was shooting them though, that I can remember.
So what do you think about this, Steve? CSL said, how do you feel about forcing FCU settings? I think it should be like a requirement to have your FCU at a certain whatever, to the league, of course. I don't think that's a bad thing because then you're setting everybody at the same settings, so it's kind of fair at that point.
It depends on what settings you're referring to, CSL. I mean, if we're talking, some settings can't be adjusted. If he has a longer, I mean, you know this, I know you do. If he has a longer inner barrel than I do, a tighter one or anything like that, I mean, obviously my dwell can't match his dwell. I mean, if you want to regular FCUs, I don't see how we can match them a lot unless you allow ramping into one, but that's the gorilla. Yeah, see, and it's a way, Fibes has said, the double shoot, but only one pull issue with short triggers needs to be limited. I agree. Mine, I don't know why. It's like if I pull it right-handed and almost push in, it's kind of like pushing out and pushing in at the same time. It'll do it. When I do it left-handed, it will not do it at all. It's just a little wiggle in it. It's kind of like a little sweet spot. Semi-lock.
Yeah,
if you're going to have a semi-lock period. Yeah, I don't have a selector switch on mine or anything. So if you want to talk about the same thing, if we go over to a regular FCU and your 5.2 setting, you set it to semi only. So no matter what, I'm semi. If I accidentally hit my selector switch to put it in full auto or burst, whatever my FCU settings is, I'd completely agree with that. Yes, yeah, so I'm with you there. You can set the semi-lock FCU to, set the stock FCU to semi. I agree. Yeah, that's what I had on mine. I used to run mine semi and then burst for a little while. And running up on a player at ACS one time, it clicked into burst and lit him up pretty good. And I changed it, never kind of changed it back. I always had it semi. And now I don't have the selector switch. Yeah,
so the story with me was I kept getting he's shooting me full auto. Like, every time I went to the field, and I got sick and tired of it, I was like, bro, I'm taking out the selector switch. I'm taking out all that. So, and then I was like, it's set on semi, so no one can ever say I went full auto on him. And I remember once some dude was like, he went full auto on me. And I was like, how? And I gave him the rest of the gun. He's like, he can't switch it unless he opens up the back of his gun.
Yeah.
And that kind of ended I haven't heard he full out of me again.
413 SpeakQB asks thoughts on pistol mag adapters. I think they should absolutely be used when you can, especially in the cold. A gas, green gas mags will not run and operate right in the cold.
So this is the thing too. So this became I think I seen this on Instagram. CSL, they don't require, you cannot use pistol mag adapters. Now his reasoning, which I agree with him, is you have a M4 mag and you just shooting. You have unlimited ammo. He's like, if you have pistols, then you're kind of limiting yourself to how many shots, and you're kind of more careful on how you use your BBs. I still got to read the rules. I don't know if there's a limit, but I mean, I like pistol. I have one. I love using my pistol adapter. But I don't know. It's an off and on kind of thing. I like pistol adapters, but I see the reason why he's saying, you got to reload and stuff like that. But what do you think? We'll put it in a different context. What do you think about pistol mag adapters in competition, and a competition standpoint?
Tournament wise, use them. I mean, honestly, the guy in the, all you're really doing, you're not going to probably go through that many anyways. I mean, the rifleman's going to go way many, or so many more BBs than the pistol will.
Yeah.
Ideally, and if my rifle can hold the EPM ones, I can have 250 rounds in my rifle alone in one mag. Unless you're requiring the EPMs, then I'm down to 150, a BAMF 190, whatever the requirement is on that. I don't see any reason to not use them.
Yeah, because you are right, Steve. Like, if you're in a setting, if you're in a tournament and you're in a match, you're not going to use the full 100 rounds, especially if you're using a pistol. You know what I mean?
Yeah, likely you're not going to go through as many rounds. Exactly that.
Yeah.
And keeping up with, you're going to have to keep up with so many mags. If you're if you happen to go with the same rule of a max capacity, just hypothetically, 1,000 rounds, I get to carry 4 EPM ones with me right at the start. If you get to carry, if you have 1,000 round max, what is that? You're not gonna carry enough green gas mags. You're just not.
Green gas mags are expensive too, aren't they? Like $30-$40 a pop.
But even if you had them, that's a whole wrap of a belt of mags to even keep up, and I think that's unnecessary. And plus, if you're going in a real true simulation situation, milsims, I get it. I get why the adapters, they don't want them used. They want the real simulation kind of thing. I completely understand that. But when it comes to that area of, speed softs, use them. The technology's there. We have them. Primary's got them. Monk's got them. Tap's got them. I'm sure a lot of people have some printed ones of their own as well. See, tapped gas mags. I have some. I tried it. It's not quick enough. Maybe I'm just slow at it. But pulling my line off to pull it off the mag, put a new mag in, and then hook my line back up. It takes too long.
Well, I think I've seen somebody do that. It was like I think I've seen a dude with a blowback AK, and he had his pistol, like he's saying, he had his mag, and when he ran out, he had to take off the hose, take the mag out, put the mag in, and then put the hose on, right? That's how you do it?
Yeah, tap the mag.
That's 15-second reload.
I agree. Some people can spam the pistols like rifles. Yeah, I agree. You can get them shooting pretty quick, especially short stroked and a good. Get trigger real sensitive. Not to mention, some people just got a quick trigger.
Maybe that's what CSL. That's why they put that rule in. Maybe because they've noticed a lot of people do spam triggers with pistols.
I'm sure they have their reasoning.
Some dudes' pistols are insane. Some guys, those pistols are insane. Some builds that I've seen.
I could understand balancing the pistols. I mean, I get it. I can, especially with CSL with it. I mean, I understand. I can get it. I understand. Um, I think, I think it's understandable in the right scenario. If you live in Canada and it's in the middle of winter and it's 60 degrees in the building, and forcing people to use gas mags for a pistol is automatically starting them with a hell of a disadvantage just by the environment alone.
Yeah, because my friend bought that G&G SCL 9, that gas blowback like little pistol thing that G&G made, and he put green gas in the mag, and he was like, yeah, I shot like 6 rounds and I ran out of gas, or like it just stopped working. I was like, what, 6 rounds? I was like, you really shot like 6 times? He was like, yeah. He was like, it wasn't more than 10, and it just stopped working. I was like, that's pretty insane. I didn't know green gas worked like that.
Put a magnet on my chest rig, makes it so much faster. That's a good thought.
Too much to type. Yeah, man. Oof. Nest Doc, I've been talking to this dude a couple times about my pistol, man. This thing is crazy. Like, every time I touch it, a new problem happens, Ridiculous, man. Like, I don't even want the pistol anymore. But I want to get it working. Right now, I don't know if you've seen it on the story. I took a slow motion video, and what was happening was, like, I would shoot, like, if I cock it right now, like, the nozzle comes back. Like, you see the nozzle right there? Now, when I would shoot it with the HPA attached, my nozzle would stay frontwards. So, like, I'd shoot it and the nozzle would just stay right here.
Is it
like,
catching on your gasket? That'd be my...
No.
On the gasket on the magazine? That'd be my thought.
Oh.
Yeah, on the magazine. Like, if you put the... 9-ball makes the purple ones that you can put in there, and it does jack up the FCU a little bit, but it puts more pressure on the nozzle, a better seal. And that seal right there can actually help catch it and hold it like that. Because if it's not catching then it means it's not staying stuck in your bucking of your hop-up or anything, and it's not catching on like a screw that's coming loose in the nozzle, your nozzle spring, anything like that. My next guess would definitely be the magazine gasket.
It could be getting caught on that magazine gasket. Okay.
That's my thought. Yeah, see, 7 degrees outside up there today. It's cold.
Yeah, so this morning it was, where I'm at, it was -1 degrees out this morning at 7.
Yeah, it's super cold. So... elements like that. I mean, but if you have a fixed situation in a building, or it's summertime or something like that, where the environment's not affecting the equipment like that, I mean, I guess that's maybe a seasonal thing more than anything.
Yeah, because even in the buildings around here, it's still cold. It's still, they don't pump a lot of air, like hot air into the buildings. It's like maybe like 60, 65 in those buildings. They still keep it really cold in there.
5 said the pistols boils down to that every team used to use, almost every team used 5 rifles because of that 2 pistols on the field rule happened. Yeah, that's from my understanding now, is they have to have at least 2 pistol runners on their teams at all times. So 3 rifles, 2 pistol runners.
Where?
Mandatory. EU.
Oh. I didn't know that. Which
definitely could be I know it could be a hiccup. Now, we don't play over there, obviously. But I know well, our sub, he runs a pistol a lot. He loves the pistol. But usually the starter 5 for A are all rifles. If you took, 2 of us away from the rifle and forced us to get on pistol, yes, that 2 people would adapt and run at the best of their abilities. But it would be a hiccup. It would suck for sure.
Yeah, because I always wanted to try the pistol competitively. I've used pistols before, but I never used like a fully upgraded one and just going like a couple days with using it. So it'd be nice to run a pistol. Just so much problems, man. I never had this much problems with. My Kythera gave me a lot of problems. I think I worked on the Kythera for like 2 weeks, nonstop after work, trying to figure out just adjusting it. But my Wolverine, I didn't have any problems with that. That was just a plug and play. And then now I'm having problems with that pistol. Let's see.
5 rifles is boring to watch. It's almost a step towards paintball. I understand it. I get it. I get it.
I like to see different things.
The mag and BB limits. What's your thoughts on that?
As much as you can hold.
Yeah.
I don't care how much. It's your fault if you go there without enough. It's your fault if you don't have enough BBs and mags on you. That's how I look at it. I don't think there should be a limit. I don't think there should be. All right, no high caps and no drum mags. I think that's really it.
But carry as many mags as you want.
Yeah, fuck it. Why is it your fault? That's like I have 10 mags, you have 5 mags, and you're only gonna run 5 mags. It's like that's not my fault. You don't have enough mags. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
That's how I look at it.
CSL said our season operates during the late spring and summer, so it's not an issue. See, in that situation, yeah, for sure.
That's the best weather too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to find those 9-ball gaskets though. Everywhere I look, I can't find them. They're sold out. That's the high demand that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Can't find nothing there.
Yeah, but
what do you think about the mag and the BB limit? Do you think the same thing, or do you think there should be a limit?
I'm on both sides. I like I'm not fond of. I get the idea behind it. I get that it's not just spraying and praying, because the same time that was adjusted was the same time the feathering thing was adjusted. I get that. I agree with the feathering. I don't agree with the mag capacity. I think exactly what you said. If I want to go out there with 10 of them and I want to use that many, I'm going to use that many. The feathering thing, I think it. Okay, from where I usually play, which is in Nashville, that was normally your entire game. Everyone playing, a structure and just sending BBs down range. That's all you would see. So I see the point of it on that, of taking it away. You're having to be a little bit more precise. I kind of get that. I think it's when it boils down to it, I don't think they should take too much from us. It's kind of the question of what's going to be taken next. You know what I mean? What restrictions going to kind of be put next?
Yeah, well, it's like football. They keep taking away little things that it's like, why'd you take that away? Why'd you take that? That's the thing about evolving sport. Somebody's gonna find a way to tweak a rule, and then they take that tweak that he did and take away that whole aspect of it, but it took away the good aspect of that thing that they took away.
Yeah.
And it's just adapting. But yeah, I mean, I can see what you mean though. Like somebody like just finding a one way and just sending them down. But if you fix the feathering problem, then you kind of eliminate that just sending BBs, because that's how I look at it. Maybe I'm looking at it differently.
Predator said, check out, he said LCC, which is LA Kappa Customs. When they launch their new site this week, they normally have some 9-ball seals.
Yeah, so they just said, I just read a post he put up. He said that it's going to be delayed another week or so.
Oof.
Yeah.
Fobs, I'm interested in your answer on that one, on the BB limit, if you're still watching. I'm really interested in that one. To bounce back on what Pumbaa said, he said we tried to modify the safety bars when we first started the HPA builds. He's talking about the safety trigger on that one. He said, but by the time you get them to work, if you apply any pressure, it was still going to shoot.
You mean the safety triggers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's pretty much saying he tried to modify it, but even if he modified it, it would still shoot?
Yeah. So any kind of real pressure on it.
Yeah, because that's a finicky thing with the safeties. I mean, how I look at it is, I mean, because there's one field in New York opening up, and they said that, like, if you don't have a safety, then you can't play. Like, your gun, well, it's not you can't play, you can't use that gun. Which it's like, if you unhook your hose, or you put your barrel bag on, why do you need a safety? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're running HPA, like, unscrew your tank or disconnect your hose, that's a safety right there. So I don't understand why you need that switch.
Doc said he just sent you the link for the gaskets.
Definitely. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate that.
Well, my man, we are a whole hour and 20 minutes in. I appreciate you a lot. What did I start playing? Oh, that's what I watch. Wait a minute. Fives replied real quick. Is BB/mag limit discussion that huge over there? Because here it never came up. No, it has been. It has been a popular topic.
It's the thing of they keep switching the rules from what you've been posting up, right, Steve?
Yeah, there was the one rule when that initially switched. It gave us to 4 round, because they did it first. They said just 4 mags, and then it updated like 2 weeks later after that. And was like, okay, well, we're going to give you 1,000 round capacity, but whatever mags and stuff like that. However mags it takes to make 1,000, which consequently moved me from running an ARP9, because naturally if I'm running ARP9 with classic armies magazines, 4 of them, I only got 480 rounds. That's it. So once they adjusted that, and it was like, okay, we'll make 1,000 and the round capacity, and it has been a pretty popular topic. But I think it's been, don't quote me on this, it might have been October. It feels like maybe October.
Yep.
When it was changed.
Yeah, because I remember it was like you can only have certain amount of BBs in each mag, and then they put the limit on the mags and they switched it. It was like in a short amount of time. I remember you were talking about it. It was like within that like a week or two span where they just kept switching it up, and you're like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like,
yeah.
pick something, man.
Yeah, Australia said, yeah, that's what I found out from Demi, too. It was not a rule implemented in EU. So they can still have as many mags as they want. Which, I wish they'd switch that back for us, man. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, just go out there with as many as you want and just play. That's how I look at it.
Which I'm not opposed. I mean, at the same time, I'm okay with the feathering thing going away. But if they brought it back, oh well, I'd use it. It's an asset.
I mean,
it's something I'd do if they pull it back.
Because like feathering it, and that's the rule too. It's like they made the rule. It's like, yeah, you can shoot as fast as you want, but you got to keep your hand on the like 3 or 2 fingers on the trigger. And then one league was like, you can feather, but like you gotta cuff it with your thumb. And I was like, what? So like, if you wanted to feather, you can feather, but you'd have to grab the grip with your thumb, and then you can like feather as much as you want. Now that can be kind of like, you can kind of bend the rules, because all you have to do is like
vibrate your hand. Yeah.
Exactly, just vibrate your hand, and you'd be like, yo, I cuffed my thumb though. And that's the problem where like people will take advantage of. I mean, you're following the rules. They said to cuff your thumb around it, but that's where kind of rules get bent and kind of ruins certain rules.
I like that. What Five just said.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Pumbaa said they waited for Steve to scrap his build and change it again. It seemed like it, man. As soon as I scrapped it and moved over, it changed. And somebody were like, you want to go back to the ARP9? No. I didn't. No.
See, now, like, let's say they did make the limit to 150 BBs and a mag. I would have to spend at least $150 in mags again. Because I run the EMP ones, so those are $250.
Yeah.
Because I like to have as much as I can in my mags. So, like, if that rule was implicated, then it's like, god damn, now I gotta spend $150? You know what I mean? And that's the sucky part. And I think that's where they're like, oh, we don't want these players to do that, but at the same time, it's a part of the rules. It's part of the sport. Do whatever the rules say.
So Fives likes, so he does like the 150 and then carry as many as you want. So that eliminates the S's and the 1s. So just EPM.
EPM, they're like $30, right?
EPM.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, they got, well, here I think they're something like that, about 26, 27. I ain't bought one in a long time. I'd be completely okay with that, though. I mean, I'd hate to, have to invest in them again. That would suck, but I understand it. The 150, carry as many as you want. Yeah, it's why we envy y'all over there and what you got going on, man. We do.
So in your area, how are the pro shops? Do they have a lot of upgradables, or it's more of like you gotta buy your stuff online?
Oh, I can brag on at least the one here in our town a lot. ACS. I mean, their pro shop is great. He has just about anything that you're gonna want. I mean, some nick and crannies of things he won't have. Some things you can force to get online. Some things that we tend to get, from grips to some, carbon rails, 3D printed stuff like that. He ain't got that. But he keeps,
that's just the fancy stuff.
Yeah,
though.
that's real fancy. But when it comes down to your normal everyday things, yeah, ACS has got a great pro shop in my area here. Saying in my area here, that's definitely ACS has got it in the pro shop for sure.
Yeah, because the closest place to me that has like your basic necessities that are like decent, it's probably an hour. And then if I wanted to get like the high quality stuff like Speed QB gear and like parts like LA Kappa parts and stuff like that, it's a 2-hour drive for me. And yeah, I mean I don't mind driving. I mean usually like right now to play indoor, I'm driving an hour and a half to 2 hours to play indoor, and that's all in Rhode Island. So I'm driving from one end of Massachusetts all the way down to Rhode Island. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours. All matters which field I go to, which is fine. But yeah, I'd have to travel to get some good gear. Murder mags? What are those?
Also cancels BAMPs and murder mags. Yeah, the BAMPs are 190. They're 190 round mags. I used to run them a while back ago, back when I ran APMs before the EPM ones came out. BAMP mags are I can brag on those. 190 rounds. It was something to kind of like a, I don't want to call it an upgrade because I feel like the EPMs were better, for sure. But when it came to, getting 40 extra rounds, per mag, why not?
And Doc, but from Steve, it's like a 16-hour drive.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's a trip.
That's a trip, because I was thinking about going out there with me and my boy, because we want to go to Shot Zone, because that place looks intense. So we started, doing some research, and I'm like, God dang.
Yeah, that's a distance.
That's distance. I mean, that's like you'd have to plan that like a month advance and make sure you get out, like, probably don't even go work on Friday and take the trip out there to make it Saturday morning.
Maybe one day, Venom. Yeah, we ain't even made it to SS yet. It's 5 hours from us, and we're still talking about doing it.
Yeah, I need. That's the goal this year. At least try to go to SS because their field is. I just want to try that field. That place has gotten so much hype where it's like it's a must go destination at this point.
Okay, I gotta touch on this too. Five said it, so I gotta agree. I am so inclined to agree with him. He said before the EPMs were released, the rule was 200 BBs per mag, and then suddenly it got switched to 250. To me, this is industry dictating the game. But from my POV, it should be the other way around. I would absolutely agree with you. We seen the convenience in that too. Is right when them things were released, the rule was changed. There was definitely some sus stuff in that. We all, we all seen that clear as day.
I did not know that. So now knowing that, it's like, yeah, I mean, I can see really why.
Sus. Nashville, they was at the 200 round thing first, and then the EPM ones come out, and then Nashville was kind of like, all right, well, we're going to let you use them. That was one of the, field bins a little bit of rule there. And then the rule officially changed.
That's so suspect.
Yeah. It was very, it was very sus. We all noticed that too.
Wow. Ness, you gotta do a little bit more than coffee.
I'm buying some coffee and a t-shirt if that helps. I'd love to, man. It would be really neat to come up that far. It really would. That's a hell of a trip for me and my crew, man. That's a vacation. It's a good distance.
Pretty much. Yeah. I didn't know that about the mags though.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So did the 150s come out this year? Because I didn't start buying PPS mags until like
EPM ones. I feel like they was around in 2020, maybe the end of it. I could be wrong. Could have been early 2021, but I feel like they were around in 2020. Yeah, they had to have been. Definitely. Yeah, they was around 2020 for sure. Yeah, Puma said it exact blunt. It was funny as soon as Speaky started carrying the EPMs, they were legal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah, that's the sus.
That's not surprising at all.
That's what I was saying. That was so sus. Like, man. Braden gonna kidnap me. Screenshot. No.
So you got. I had this question for you. So like, you said you got into airsoft because of your son, right?
Yeah, originally.
So does your son still play?
No.
He dropped out of it. He lost.
Yeah, it seems like the interest is lost, and for a while it was trouble. Couldn't stay out of trouble. Stuff. It was a privilege for him. Me as an adult, it is a privilege to play somewhere, but at the same time, I'm an adult. You know, like I don't.
Yep.
Nobody grounds me from it. But yeah, it was originally a thing for me to kind of go out there and hang out with him, connect with him in a way, you know. And yeah, I became an addict to it real quick. As soon as I started playing, I fell in love with it, and now it's turned into an entire lifestyle.
Addiction. HPA really changed that too. Like once I went HPA, I'm like, oh man, this is so much better. Let me buy this. Oh, they made this? Well, might as well buy that.
Mm-hmm. Fishing Fluke asked who's going to National Airsoft Tournament this week. And PBZ A and B are going, but PBZ A is not competing. I am not playing this weekend in the tournament. I do not have enough players on my team.
So Steve, do you work on your own guns? Oh, I think Steve's gone.
My mic was muted. Yeah, I work on all my own stuff. I do not give it to anybody else. I started that. I ran an AEG originally. Then had it upgraded a little bit. Had issues with it and didn't know nothing much on it. And then once I went HPA, installed my first one. I work on all my own stuff, which is a good thing because if something goes wrong with my gun, I want to know what it is, how to diagnose it really quickly, how to fix it, how to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, so the same thing with me. I when my SSG-1 first broke down, later to find out it was a MOSFET, I brought it to a shop, and then they're like, yeah, come back next week and we'll have it all fixed for you. So I come back next week, and they're like, yeah, it's probably going to be another 2 weeks. And I was like, well, give me my goddamn gun. I'll just work on it myself. So and then I did a AEG build I put a Titan in it and did a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't shim it right. I didn't shim it at all. Like, it was terrible. So I thought I did a great job. Started using it. The Titan messed up. I guess one of the sensors on it like came out of place, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not warranted." I was like, "Okay then." And then I went to HPA, and then the same thing with you. First, I started working on my own guns because I want to save money. I was like, I'm not going to pay a guy $60 an hour when I could just try and do it myself. And plus, like you said, if it breaks on the field, I mean, I want to know how to fix it. You know what I mean? And like, let's say, I mean, you play in tournaments all the time. Like, if your gun breaks down during the game and you don't know how to work on a gun, then you're screwed. And if that's your only gun, then that's even worse for you. But, like, you could take apart your gun real quick and work on it. Like, I had the problem with my gun where it was shooting at 160 FPS yesterday to find out my solenoid was unscrewed halfway. It's like, okay, screwed it back in and then working perfectly fine. Now, imagine if I would have sent it out, probably be $120 just to tell me, yeah, your solenoid unscrewed itself. You know what I mean? But I always encourage people, like, if you can work on your gun, work on your gun. Even if you don't know how to work on it, just give it a try. Plus, HPA is so easy. It's just washers. That's it.
Yeah, I enjoy working on mine. I was working on AEG not long ago. Put another MOSFET in it, some gears, cylinder, all that stuff. Shimmed it, all that. Mostly just because I wanted to learn it. It was going to be a backup gun more than anything, which to kind of touch real quick on that is tournament stuff. We always have a backup gun on deck. If one of ours fails, we have another one on deck at all times. But until I adjust mine, I want my gun. I know how my gun shoots. I know it's my gun. But worked on AEG for a little bit just to learn some stuff because I know how to do. I can tear my gun apart, put it back together in, 10 minutes, not even that. Like, every part. Take it completely apart, put it back together. It does not take long.
Yep.
But the AEG thing, I wanted to learn a little bit. Like, how does this work? How does this work? Just the little things to it. Some people would ask me AEG questions, and it's like I always had to kind of send them away. Now it's like I wanted to learn to be able to give that, kind of give it back. Like, all right, well, this works good, and this works good. If you do this, and this, and kind of to know how to do it. And I enjoy they can be a pain in the ass, but I enjoy sitting there playing with it, like messing with it. Especially when it wasn't my primary gun. It was like I could take my sweet ass time with it and just tinker. That was a good part of it. But as an AEG, some of them are really cool. I rather go with air. And they're simple.
Yeah.
They're just very simple. As long as you don't have, sometimes you got adjustment issues, like your alignment's out of whack. You took a gearbox out of one, put in another one. Your alignment's way off, or some buckings. Some hop-ups don't seem to want to work right with certain mags, things like that. Little things. But for the most part, it's all super easy. And the hose does not bother me a bit. I'm dominant left-handed, but I have my cord comes out. I wrap it to my right side and take the slack up with my left. I've only one time I can remember ever getting my line actually hung to the point like it messed up my hose. Other than that, it doesn't.
So how long is your hose? Is it the recommended 36 inches?
No, mine's a 42. Yeah.
Oh, so I think you got the longer one.
Yeah, it's the longer one.
Yeah, because right now I use the cord with my Kythera, and I don't mind it. I've had a couple guys who are like, "Oh, how can you play with an airline?" It's like it's not that bad,
No.
And when I switch over to my left, I don't feel a difference.
No, I don't even notice mine's there.
Yeah, I don't mind the holes as well, but the AEG I still haven't. I'm afraid to put money into it again, and then me break it again. Because if I do that, then I'm just gonna get upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just spent all this money for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Because that's how I feel with the pistol.
I know a lot of people are with they don't want to carry a tank and stuff like that. I run a 48 Empire, 48, 4500 Empire carbon tank, and man, that thing is nothing. I don't even notice it at all. The reason I did run a 68, like a lot of people do, but I went to the 48 when I put it on my Euro grip I had, and kept it since then. Sold my 68 and just kept that one. And back to using it, and it does not bother me. I have a steel one in my trunk. I don't ever use it.
I use my steel for backup.
Yeah, I've just never. I need to. It's missing some washers on the end of it, but I need to just put new washers on and just fill it up and just switch real quick. But we're blessed enough to have one of our sponsors, which is a fire department, always fills up all our tanks. We take all these big, firefighters carry all them tanks, so we have air. Like, we don't run out of air. Hell, I haven't paid. Me and my teammates ain't paid for air in a long time. We always have air.
That's great, man.
So it's
air's expensive in certain places too. I don't know how much air is at your place, but there's one specific place they charged me $12 to fill my 4500. I was like, what the hell? $12. I was like, Jesus, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I don't know. I'm cheap too. I complain about it. I like to complain about price, but I'll still pay it. I just gotta get the complaining out of my mouth, but I'll still pay.
Yeah, it's $4 a fill at ACS, and depending on what engine you got, that can really screw you.
Yeah. The one thing that I did notice is your dwell. Your dwell makes a big difference on your air consumption, and I didn't know that in the beginning. And then when I start, like, I'm one of those guys that will just put it together and I won't read the manual until something breaks, and I'll be like,
that's like most guys.
So, and then I started reading, and I was like, yeah, you gotta, because I thought you just set when I first got it, I thought you just set it up, and then it's all set to go. And then, like, in the manual, it's like, no, you gotta set your dwell, and then put the tank on, and you gotta shoot, and then you gotta, like, adjust the dwell until it stops your FC, some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll start it at 99 normally. I think 99 is just too much to start. Especially if you have a really long-ass barrel, start at 99. But if you have like a 5-6 inch barrel, just go ahead and start at like 80 or something like that. But yeah, you're just looking for inconsistencies in the shot. So as long as, like, once you find, you'll get to a consistent point, and once you start to lose that consistency, just jump it up 5 more, and you're usually set. Mine runs at 55 is where I have mine, which is slightly high with my short ass barrel, but it shoots pretty great. So
yeah, because I think I'm running at 30.
Yeah,
mine is at 30. But I have
30.
I think I have like a 5-inch barrel.
Yeah, mine's pretty short
it's
too.
Like, it's short.
Fishing Fluke said NA is $6. I've never bought it at NA. We've gone to NA for good grip.
And the other thing is that sometimes I'm afraid to fill up at certain places, because I don't know if you've ran into this, Steve, but there's one specific field in my area that I'll never go to, because I filled up once and I shot a couple times and I started seeing moisture come out of my barrel, and then to find out they weren't clearing out their lines at night, so it would build condensation inside, and then when you fill up your air at that field, it would fill your tank with
condensation,
moisture.
Yeah.
Exactly, and then it'd go throughout your whole gun. And then when I went to the paintball store, the owner there, he was like, "Yeah, man, I would stop filling up there."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I had a guy come in here, and we told him just get a new regulator." And he was like, "You pretty much messed up your whole gun because it's just air." And at that point, I was like, "There's only 2 places that'll get air now." But that's one thing that I wouldn't have, that I didn't think about. What you would run into was condensation in lines and stuff like that.
I know I seen the question a minute ago. I'm looking for it again. Oh, Hudson asked, "What's your most hated airsoft gun?" I don't think
I don't have a most hated airsoft gun. I like all airs. I mean, an airsoft gun that I don't want to get shot at is like probably like a grenade launcher. I would not. I got one of those once with a face, and
yeah.
I mean, I would probably say that's my most hated, but I don't hate it. It's just I don't want to get shot by
The
it.
receiving end of it, yeah.
Yeah, and it sucked because it was a teammate that did it. Because we're playing attack and defend, and we're clearing the village. And then I came out of a building. I was gonna come left, and just like 3 guys come running in, and just poof poof. I'm like, bro, what the hell? He was like, you should have been there. I was like, okay, all right then.
I don't know if I have a specific hated gun. I got a disliked class, and I don't care for snipers. Somebody's going to snipe the shit out of me. I know it. As soon as I get the opportunity, somebody's going to snipe me for that. Snipers, I just can't get into them. I just can't. I guess I just like to move too much. It's just a class that it doesn't matter to me if it's there or not. It's just one of those things. LMGs, I like LMGs for when I have an LMG guy with me. I do not like being on the receiving end of them guys. I mean, for obvious reasons.
I played it was a adult night at one of the indoor courses, and here, and some guy, one of the guys I know, he had a LMG, and he was the only one that had a LMG, and of course, it's full auto, so they're like, yeah, 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off, I think it was, and he did that. He was like, I'm like, oh my god, like that. LMGs are nothing to play around with. I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. So that definitely sucks. Snipers, I don't really care for them either. I probably would never do that. I've played against them, and there's some snipers that they're great in hiding. Because I think I played one game and it was like 3 minutes straight of me shooting at bushes, thinking it's him, but he can't get me and I can't get him. But it's interesting going against them. I probably would never do it. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't want to play with them, but the target practice on your friends. What did Phil say? Scuba tanks is worth the investment. Yeah, definitely. I mean, because that's what we got as ones they use for the fire department. I don't know if it's the same exact one for scuba diving or anything like that, but us to have them on the fly like that. I mean, we usually have 6, 8 of them with us, especially when we go to tournaments, to make sure that we have air at all times.
Yeah, so I've seen the scuba tanks, and I don't know if you've seen those that it's like a compressed air tank, like a compressed air unit, like they're like that big, and it was like $500. But I was looking at the specs, and it was like it would take like 40 minutes to fill a 4,500 tank. I was like, Jesus, man, that's too long. But scuba tanks, I've been told by one of my boys. He was like, yeah, man, scuba tanks are the way to go. I just gotta look at the pricing, see if it's worth it or not. Because up here in Massachusetts, everything's expensive, and they tax the crap out of us.
Okay, I don't want to be wishful thinking at the moment, but I'm trying to adjust real quick to see if we can play this weekend. We were 2 guys down. One of our players has to stay. Well, 2 of them can't make it. One of them's got pre-arrangements already, and one of them can't make it with personal issues that's going on. So we was 2 down. man. I'm sorry, it had nothing to do with this stream right here. I'm just messaging on the backside, trying to get some stuff figured out. Because I really want to play this weekend. We haven't got to play in Nashville since December 4th. And December 4th or 5th, something like that. I want to say it was the 4th of December. We forfeited. I ain't gonna get into it on this or anything, but we did forfeit the championship round. We had our strong reasonings why. I think some of these people in here may know why. There's no need to get into details about it, but we did. We forfeited the round, championship one, and they didn't play in January, so we was excited about going back and playing this one. And then we heard this morning that there's a chance that we wasn't playing. So at least our A team. B team is going. And we was going to go up there no matter what. Get some open play and stuff. But
that sucks. So you had to forfeit the championship game?
Yeah, we did. We did it. We knew what we was going to be doing before we ever got there. We had our reasoning for it. I could probably chit chat with you and DM about it. But
yeah. So Steve,
what's up?
What was I gonna say? Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Jesus. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. So remember when you did the reviews on those guns?
Yeah, from the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you made me feel so insecure with my tank.
Bro, what? I'm sorry, man. What shit was I talking?
Huh?
What shit was I talking? What made you feel insecure? What?
No, it was just because my tank. So I have a 6500, right? And then like I put the photo up, and you're like, that tank's kind of too big. It's too big. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, this tank ain't big. What are you talking about? And I look at the photo, and the tank is like that. I'm like, man, now I got to get a small tank. But it was funny because after you said that, then like I was going out playing and stuff like that, and then people were like, man, that's a big tank on that gun. That's a big tank on that gun. And I'm like, man, was Steve really right about my tank? Like, and it's right because like the tank, like after playing a while, and when I played 2 weekends ago at that like tournament and the pickup games, I could feel the back, like it, like I would run, and all that weight, I could just feel it on my forearm, and I was like, man, I gotta get like 4500. I know HK Army makes the ultra light 50s, 50 CIs, but yeah, man, when you said that, I was like, man, is my tank really that big?
See, our one of my teammates, Leo, he's like 6'2". He's a big guy, and he's got big long arms, so he runs a 68 4500 on his, and he can get away with it. I mean, he's got long arms like that, so I'm sorry, I got a good message. Bet. Yes. Yeah, but the 48 was what fit more to me, and I noticed it right when I originally got the Eurotactics ERG, I think.
Yep.
That one first, the 14 degree one. I got that one first, and then put my 68 on it, and I was like, whoa, this is, I mean, I stand 5'10", like my arms are not that long. So
we're around about the same size then.
Yeah.
Because I'm like 5'10", yeah.
So it seemed so long for me at first, and I was like, I gotta adjust. And then so I ordered one, and my teammate Spiffy he wasn't running a Euro yet, so I used his 50 for a while till my 48 come in, and it fits me better. And I've seen plenty of these builds already. People are running 68s on them, and I mean, if you got the arm reach for it, it works.
Yeah.
But it's...
I always like to kind of keep, the closer to I am to my body, the better, and the less stuff I have on me is better. Because I've gotten to the point where I just wear like a Speedsoft. I mean, you guys are sponsored by them. They have the chest rig that goes across,
mm-hmm.
and I run that just because I've noticed where I just feel like that's more comfortable for me. And then for me to get that smaller, like if I can get a little bit more closer to my body, I'd feel a little bit better. But yeah, I just want to say that. I was like, man, I forgot to tell Steve about. He made me feel bad about my take.
My bad, man.
Nah, it's all right. It helps me. I like all. I mean that helps me because now I know it's like, yeah, I didn't look at it like that. And then when you guys said it, and then when I looked at the photo, I'm like, yeah, that tank looks giant now. And then I am gonna not downgrade, but I'm gonna get a smaller tank to kind of fit the aspect. But you don't run the Euro Tactics, right?
Not at the moment, I don't. I had the Euro Tactics for a while, and I ended up selling it, and mostly because that's back to the rule change and stuff like that when I swapped from the ARP9 back to M4 base, because I only ran one on an ARP9. I've never ran one on M4 yet. So I'm trying to get a few little chickens and get my chickens, in the hen house over here and get some things worked out. And another build, I'm not hiding. It's not like it's a secret of what I'm doing. So I'm ended up putting, the plan is to put the ESG Monk Custom grip on my G&G SRS with an F2 in it and the Gorilla FCU, and I'll have a 3D printed rail for it as well. So it's going to be my more tournament gun base, because I do not want to, my 5.56, I do not want to take it apart. I could just buy a grip and put it on there, and run my 5.56 with my jack. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like my 5.56.
You already have it.
Yeah,
yep.
Like I don't want to get into it. It's my little workhorse. It's been good to me. So my ESG, I don't want to call it a monk build. I don't. Just the monk grip, we'll just say that, because it's not a monk build, it's not a complete build, but that one will be more indoor tournament gun. I probably will play with it outside a little bit, but I got the feeling I'm going to still play with my 5.56 outside, because I like a stock. I mean, I don't have mine all fancy. I mean, I got a good rail on it, good sights on it and stuff like that. I don't use the sights. SSG1 stock. Anybody that's here, I know you can't see it unless you see a few seconds after the feed. For those that, I mean, some of y'all may have still seen it. It's a metal gray lower 5.56. The carbon Mac rail, 7-inch. The Brighter Sea tracer that actually has the little CS SpeedQB tip on it. SSG1 stock. PTS grip. I have a beaver tail one too. Speed trigger. This Polar Star jack. This one has a retro hop up in it. But it's simple. It's very simple. It's light, and I really like this gun. It's PDW looking, so I don't like a big gun, because like he was talking about a minute ago, I like, tucked up close to me. Any picture you see of me shooting, I always have my gun super close. I do not extend the stock at all, ever. I like it close, small, packed. And I really
so that's the other thing about me too. Like so outdoor, you play. So do you play the same way you do indoor as outdoor?
Kind of, sorta. I mean, we play pretty fast. I guess it's a different kind of tactic. Usually when we're indoors, I'm usually playing with my team. We kind of run as a squad, as a unit. We stay pretty close to each other. Outdoors, we'll kind of spread out.
Okay.
It's the different feel, obviously, but the SpeedQB has its own world. It's its own game.
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's so much different. Yeah. It's just different. It's there's just a difference to it. I mean, obviously indoors is more CQB based, more closer shots, things like that. So, you know.
Yeah, because my Speed QB build, like this. Oh, I wanted to ask you too. When you make that other build, are you gonna go with the 0 degree or
with the ESG 0? Yeah, the Monk Gen 2 is what I'll put on it.
Okay, yeah, because I was just wondering. I know people have different opinions. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think my AirPods about to die. I gotta get my other headphones, but yeah. So I was just wondering because I know some people are like, "Oh, that 0 degree don't look right." Some people like it, some people do, but yeah, I just wanted to know if what kind of degree were you gonna go with?
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean with this indoor build, I mean. This is for indoor. I made it specifically just to use for indoor, so I'm never going to take this outside just because, like, I don't want to get the interiors dirty. I got it hydro dipped. I'm not trying to ruin the paint, but I use that for indoor, and then so, like, when I play outdoor, I use this, and I extend my barrel all the way back. So, like, I have that long. It's just, I like that longer feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And with this thing, I mean, I'm getting like 400 feet out, and I'm using like 4s with this thing. No, not 4s. 3.2s.
3.2s.
I'm using 3.2s. Yeah, with this gun. And when I play outdoor, I prefer this gun, just because I made it for long range, and I got the string right here, like you don't like.
Yeah, it's OCD.
But I love that gun. I prefer using the Kythera. It's funny when I first got into HPA, the Kythera was my first build, and then I put that into my SSG1, and people were like, "Oh man, that gun's great." I was like, "Yeah, it's a Kythera." They're like, "What? Really?" Because I have such a short trigger pull on that, and it's so light, where you don't really see that with Kytheras. But that was 2 weeks of me tuning that crap, which I did not have fun. But I like playing outdoor a lot. I mean, that's where I came from. So, but I will always like to play indoor, just because temperatures are regulated. I just like to play in air-conditioned places.
Braden said, "Hey, nice tracer, Steve." Yeah, that tracer that's on my gun, that's legally Braden's. I've had it for like 3 months. I'm like, I'm totally deboning it, man. Like, I'll give it back. But yeah, I've been running that same tracer. It's the Brighter C.
What kind of tracer is that? You said that.
It's the Brighter C, and teammate Leo got the new SpeedQB ones, and it comes with 2 tips for it. And he's got the red one. He just put the black one on mine. So
yeah, the chrome tips, right? That one.
Yeah. Hudson said the Monk is not worth it. I totally disagree. Yeah, you're gonna pay money, but I mean, it's like buying a Ferrari. I mean, you are paying a little bit. I'm not even gonna say that you're paying so much for the name, because the grips alone are not even expensive. They're $130 for the grip. It may seem expensive, but it's
discounts on them.
It's. I mean, especially if you already have a regulator, the Polar Star one or the Wolverine one, which I like the Wolverine better for them. But if you have that already, $130, you got the grip, you have a whole different build, virtually. Just the quality of the Monks, man. Monk puts out good stuff. They do. It can break. Everything can break. But it is good quality stuff. I mean, especially an authentic one. Price is
great customer service too, man.
It's easy to drop $2,000 in a gun on your own, especially in gear and stuff. Mine's probably worth alone about 12, 13, and that's not even touching the tank yet, the regulator yet, things like that. So to put that extra money into that, why not? But some people, it's just not their feel for it, though.
So like mine is I probably got maybe like another $100-$200 more than you, but yeah, I mean, is he talking when he says Monk monks aren't worth it. Is he talking about the ESG or the gun itself?
I'm assuming the whole gun. If it's the grip alone, that's different structure, different folks.
Yeah.
But
Because if you're talking about the monk itself, I think you're gonna build if you build it like you said, if you build a gun yourself to look like a monk, you're gonna pay the same price.
Yeah.
And at that point, you might as well just buy a monk, so at least it has some type of like warranty on it. I don't know what their warranties are. I don't want to I don't know anything about that, but at least you know an actual like place made the gun, and you know, hey, it's not gonna shit the bed. Hopefully not. And if it does, you can just contact Monk. I've contacted Monk multiple times on Instagram, and they literally hit me up within like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And the dude's always nice and chill, and he's like, yeah, you know, no problem, just hit me up whenever you want. Like, those dudes over there at Monk, they're the real deal.
They're good dudes.
Their inner barrels are cheap too, man. I bought mine for, it was like $30. I was like, what? $30 for the outer barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for being the US one now they have too with the outer barrel, the Gorilla, the grip, and the black leaf. I think they have on the US site.
The board, yep, the black leaf board.
They're all pretty cheap. But yeah, the gun is. Man, I'll stand behind them. I have no problem with it. I mean, but you are putting a little bit of money into, because it is a custom-made gun. So somebody put labor into that as well. So you're thinking on that too. But it's custom look, custom everything.
Yeah. Because like if I took all the bills that all the receipts that I made that gun with, and then I added it up, it would probably be the same amount as a monk.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to go through the hassle that I went through with doing that, or you just want to send the money out and the dude sends you the gun and you don't have to worry about anything. The worst thing that you'd probably have to worry about is adjusting the hop up. And that's not even a worry.
Doc asked me what, I seen this question a minute ago, but I'm just now actually getting to it. He asked me, I'm assuming he's asking me, what outer barrel I'm running, and mine is not special. Actually, I'm going to pull it out, but it's not a carbon one. I didn't feel the need to get a carbon one yet. I like a little weight to my gun. That's why I have a metal lower and not just a polymer lower. I have a polymer one over there. I just don't use it because I like a little bit of weight to it. But literally, my outer barrel from the tip here, I'll let you see in the light there if you can see it. So we're looking at literally right at 4 1/4 touching here, and it's still the metal one. So it's still metal here. Like I said, I don't see a reason to put a carbon one on there yet. That little bitty thing is not throwing me a lot of weight, but I would like to have the carbon one, but I don't see a reason to buy it yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
So the metal one works just fine. Plus, I mean, this rail that I have, this carbon one, this thing is dumb light. Like, it's stupid light. And I can use any accessible tracer I want to in there. I like the speed cannon a lot, but I didn't like the limitations of just using the lighter S tracer.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's when I started talking to you when I found you on YouTube about the tracer, and then I had the Canon tracer. I don't know if you remember, but you're like, yeah, you know, it screws in, and I was like, this shit screws in?
A set screw.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, damn. And then that's how I figured it out. I love that gun. That gun, like, with no tracer, that thing's loud. Like, obnoxiously loud. And I loved it. But I took it off. I got the Monk outer barrel, and I like that. Monk makes it nice. They made a nice barrel there. I just wanted to lighten up a little bit more, or like a different kind of look. And it was cheap. It was only $30. I was like, $30. That's like a week's lunch for me at work. So
Heard that.
and then Doc asked you what's the outer barrel you're running. You already said that, length and make. Did you? I think you already ordered.
I went to
Yeah?
length. Yeah, I think so. It's 4 1/4 from that. So I think it actually puts it at 5 because it goes by the measurement actually goes by the whole entire length, not. So keep this in mind. If any of y'all get on Monk Custom site and you're like, I need a 5-inch barrel, get a 6-inch because it's counting it from what it's going inside the upper as well, where the hop up's going to actually fit into. It's counting that as well. So you'll have maybe 3/4 of that sitting in the inside, and then the rest, well, on the outside, it's going to count. So if you're like, I need a 6, get a 7. If I need a 5, get a 6. Keep that in mind.
So that's what I did. So like I got a 5-inch, and then you see my barrel poking out.
Mm-hmm.
I should have got a 6-inch. So I kind of did my measurement wrong to that aspect. And you're right. You're supposed to. I mean,
count the entirety of the length. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
If not, you're forced to sometimes put an adapter, which I didn't order one off that, but here, I'll take this back off again, because my barrel sticks out just a little bit. So what I'm forced to do is put an adapter on mine, just so I can get that extra, so my barrel does not stick inside my tracer. And this loud, obnoxious C will beep and beep and beep with that rail in it. Or that inner barrel. It'll tell you something's in there. But I like the C. The C has been I've had a BT. The BT I really like. The R is really good. The S's, I ain't had bad luck with them. Seems a lot of people have, though. The S's are iffy. But the C is great, just because it's motion activated. But sometimes that motion activation is annoying because you bumping into things and it turns on.
Yeah, my G&G tracer, it'll do an automatic shut off. So if you don't touch it, or if it doesn't sense a BB after a certain amount of time, then like if you shoot, it won't turn on for like another 30 seconds. So you think it's off. So then you have that. Like, I'm always trying to play with it, and that G&G one is okay. I just got the Biofrost. I don't know if you've seen that one, the one that, like, flashes. I use that one now, and I have no problem. The nice thing is that it'll die, and I'll have it on the charge. Like, the longest charging time was, like, 10 minutes, and then it was fully charged. I was surprised. Like, Ace Tech makes great tracers. And everybody said it, and I never had one, and then now I have one. I'm like, never again. I'll go to another company.
Hudson said he got out of Airsoft because it was so expensive, and the closest field is an hour and a half away. Some people, I mean, it is expensive, but it's. I don't care how damn expensive it gets. I'm still going to continue to play. I'll spend the money. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, so it's a thing of like, it all matters. Like, it's like a car. Like, you want to, like, you can get a car. Yes, it does your regular stuff, drive you back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and then if you want to get the nice rims, stereo, and the tints and whatever you want on your car, then you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money. That's how you can get the basic gun. But if you want that nice stuff that everybody else has, you're just going to have to put more money into it. And that's where the expensive part goes. But you don't have to do that. There's people out here that buy a KWA and they're set with that and they're happy with that. But, yeah, I mean, it's expensive, but it all matters on how expensive you want the sport to be. And I usually drive an hour. The closest I'll drive for Airsoft is an hour, and the farthest I've driven so far is 2 hours and a half.
I'm willing to drive. I don't go there every weekend. I wish I could. I mean, I'll just settle, go over to ACS. I don't want to say settle. I don't want to say that. I almost said it, but I don't want to say that. I just like playing indoors more. But I wish I could be at Nashville every weekend. I really do.
Yeah, so like right now, since it's cold, I'll take the hour and a half, 2 hour drive out. Once it gets a little bit warmer, then I'll be like, all right, man, fucking, I want to play outdoor because I do like being outside a lot. So, but with Speed QB getting more recognized in the Northeast, you'll probably see me indoor a little bit more. And then Braden Hernandez, all those outer barrels, they're all mostly screw on, right, Steve? Mm-hmm. And it's just a nut from what I've learned. That's how mine is. It's
yeah, they're like the screws.
Just like that.
Yeah, so as long as you have the male end right there on the upper, you're Gucci.
Yep, that's it. And then like there's the Canon outer barrel that me and Steve have. That one actually comes with the screw attached to it. Yours does too, right, Steve?
Yeah, it did. I don't have it anymore, but it did. Yeah.
You got rid of it?
Yeah, I got rid of it. I sold it to another. Well, yeah, I sold it. I sold it with my ESG. Because when I came off my ARP9, that's when I switched up a few things. Went back to a stock, pulled that rail off, got a new rail, basically made a whole new build.
I thought about selling mine, but then I'm like, if I sell it, I'm gonna want it, and then I'm gonna have to buy it again.
I know. I won't go back with the Eurotactics one though. It's definitely gonna be Monk for sure. Anything. Yeah. I'm gonna try to slowly get the. Later, I'll try to get the upper and lower of the Monk. I don't think it's too far fetched, price wise with Monks, but as a dad, 3 kids and a wife, $2,000 to come off of it's not easy. It's not easy, but.
Well, that's the other thing too, because I've gotten a question of people ask me like, man, how do you dump all this money on Airsoft? It's like, well, I'm not dumping money down, guys. Like, I'm buying part by part, mm-hmm. or I'm buying little by little, and like I tell them, I was like, I have bills, my son, saving money for the next house I'm getting, so it's like, we're not dumping money into these guns. It's like little by little.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell people. It's like, you don't have to, like, people are like, oh man, I'm going to build this gun. I'm about to drop down, like, all this money and blah, blah. I'm like, yo, you don't have to do that. Just take your time, one part. You don't have to dump a whole bunch of money into the sport at once. I was like, there's no rush. The sport ain't going anywhere.
That's facts.
And then, and the other thing, you said that you want to buy the upper and the lower of Monk?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, the body alone is...
That's $500.
Yeah, $500 just for the body.
Yeah.
But
is that with the cutouts too?
Yeah.
Are you looking into that one?
Mm-hmm.
See, now I'm afraid to get the cutouts, but if you're going to use it indoor only, then there's no worry to get, like...
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't... Yeah, that gun... If at that status, indoor. It won't go outside.
Yeah.
It'll be an indoor gun only. But while it's on the SRS upper, G&G, that's cool. I'll take it outside. But it wouldn't be fairly often. It'd probably be my 5.56, which is named Betsy. So Betsy will be playing.
$16 hours, damn. I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah. It's getting late. It's about to be 10:30. I want to hit the head.
Oh, you're an hour ahead, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm an hour ahead. I gotta be out in Boston for 6 in the morning. So
I understand completely. Well, as far as this, because I'll hang it up right after this. I appreciate you. I really do. It's always fun.
Yeah, no
to
problem.
conversate with people. I'm sure I'll still chit chat with you in DM or whatnot. Y'all that are in the comments, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I know a couple of y'all have been the whole time. Appreciate y'all always. I think we've chatted enough though. But yeah, man.
It was a good day. It was good chatting with you.
Same to you, my man.